don't know about you, but I trust someone who knows that women are like spaghetti. Pam Farrell has written or co-written 25 books. Men Are Like Waffles, Women Are Like Spaghetti is a classic. Pam, you and your husband Bill opened up a world of mutual understanding with that book. Actually, when I saw you on Hour of Power, I really got it. And you just have to start there, the spaghetti thing, because it's just so insightful.
Right, right. Well, when you look at the way a man's mind works, it looks like the top of a waffle. There are compartments separated by walls, and guys put one issue in each individual compartment. So guys think of one thing and one thing only at a time. So when he's at work, he's at work. And when he's watching TV, he's watching TV. Yeah, one thing at a time. They're problem solvers by nature. They go into a box, they figure out what the problem is, they assign a solution, and then they move on. But we women, that's not the way we process life. The way we process life, you know, social scientists say men compartmentalize and women integrate, but nobody really talks like that. And so if you look at the way we women process life, it looks like one noodle.
Just picture
one noodle,
that plate.
On a plate of spaghetti. Everything's touching everything else. That's why we process life, because we travel through life and we make emotional connections to the people and things that matter most to us. And so by nature, we're great at multitasking. I mean, we can be on the phone with our girlfriend, we're watching 100 Huntley Street, our girlfriend's life's falling apart, we're like, tune in. At the same time, we're writing our Christmas card list and our grocery list and our to-do list for our husband and our 8 kids. I was telling the kids in sign language to quit fighting. Can't you see I'm on the phone? We've got a load in the washer, a load in the dryer, we're cooking dinner, and we can open and shut the oven door with our foot.
And if we've got a sick child, we're distracted at work. Or
everything touches everything else in our life. Yeah, and so we're very different.
I don't have a sick child. That's just the first thing that came into
my
mind.
Or if your marriage is not doing well, chances are you'll bring it into the workplace just because it'll be on your heart.
We're relational.
Yeah, we're very relational.
Now, we are also afflicted by many things that assail our confidence and our God-given potential.
Right.
And I think that's got to be part of the reason you've written this new book, Step Into God's Adventure for Your Life, Woman of Confidence.
Yeah, thanks. You know what, if you think about it, it was a direct outgrowth of the spaghetti thing. Because when one thing's wrong in a woman's life, like everything's wrong in a woman's life, and that fear of frustration can touch every area in our life. And so what I was seeing as I'm out doing relationship seminars and I'm doing women's seminars, that these great women, they're beautiful, they're smart, they're articulate, totally filled with fear, just gripped with fear. And my heart just broke, because that means the average woman's not living up to her God-given potential if she's shutting down her life based upon her fears.
Paralyzed. Actually, you have one of many great quotes in this book. The common denominator we women of all cultures, ethnicities, and ages share is the very thing that holds us all back. Fear.
It's all fear-based. In fact, I did a survey. I was traveling, and all my audiences for like the last 5-10 years, I asked the women, you know, what holds you back? It was all fear-based. And so I surveyed them, you know, where's this fear coming from? What's the confidence killer? And it's all loss of different kinds. For example, the loss of salvation. People are afraid that they'll do something wrong and God will be mad at them. Or loss of their child. That's a common fear, and that's legitimate fear. Loss of a marriage. The interesting thing is the loss of a marriage isn't so much death nowadays. It's more like, oh, a younger, thinner model might come along and my husband might leave me. But it was very interesting. Yeah, women are afraid of being alone. They're afraid of, right now, especially economic downturn. But number one fear was surprising, because it ran 3-to-1, and all the other fears was loss of status, meaning that there'll be something that will make me look bad in other people's eyes. And I think the reason why that loss came clear to the top of the list, as opposed to in years past, is if you think about it, our mistake right here, if we make some kind of a bobble right here in this interview, man, we can be YouTubed in a second. It goes around the world. Some email mistake is like, woo, the whole world knows. And I think that to forgive is divine, but to delete would be even better.
We're walking on eggshells.
That's right, we are.
We could be.
Yeah. I think that knowing that our faux pas is something we can't run away from these days so much scares women.
I did not know how relevant this is for you personally. I did not know that you were raised in a town near what, a population of 100
on a good day.
On a good day. Just fascinating things about your personal journey. Raised on a farm.
Raised on a farm,
Idaho?
a very small town girl in Oregon and then in Idaho. And I'm the firstborn daughter of an alcoholic dad, and so that means the core of my confidence was shaken very early in my life, because I always thought, oh, I had to be perfect in order to make dad happy so that he wouldn't scream, yell, hit, leave. And so early on, I lived with a lot of fear. And it wasn't until I began a relationship with Jesus Christ, when my mom's best friend, Kathy, saw the chaos that we were living in, and she said, Afton, why don't you and the kids come to church with me? And I walked into that little church. I mean, in a town of 100 people, how big could that church be? I mean, really, like 25 people. But they showed me what love looked like. And I fell in love with love. And that is, God is love. And I saw that that was the answer to my fears, to my frustrations, to all my relationship issues. I began a relationship with Jesus when I was almost 9 years old, and it transformed me, literally.
Now, you went through your parents' divorce. You ended up in a trailer park. And you say that all of these hard things are what God actually used to build your confidence, your boldness, that tenacity to move forward into, well, look what you've become.
He did. I saw very early on, when I was 9, right after I began a relationship with Jesus, my friend Kelly, she's like, Pam, did you have a quiet time? And I'm like, what's that? And she said, well, God wrote this book. It's a Bible, and it's a love letter from God. And so every day we're supposed to read God's love letter, and then we're supposed to pray, and that's how we tell God we love him. I'm like, okay, so I did it. And I believe all those days, all those verses were the beginning of God rebuilding confidence in my life.
Oh, this is